All right, let's talk about something that comes with parenting every baby, diapers. You see, most people go through using diapers 2, 3 years. We went through 24 years straight, and somehow we did it without losing our sanity.
How you feeling, Amelia?
Wonderful.
That's great.
As Bryce would say, the baby's getting ready to kick out.
When my oldest was born, it was such a special moment. Holding him for the first time just set a flood of emotions through my body. I felt love before, but this was different. Holding this life that my wife and I had just created together, it was just miraculous. And I don't know if I was ready to be a dad just yet, but I was ready to try. And as I had those tender moments with him in the hospital and holding him and snuggling with him, I also got the chance for the very first time in my life of changing a diaper. Now, little did I know this would be the first of many, many over the next 24 years. It wasn't all about changing diapers. We had tons of beautiful moments with our babies where you get to see them smile for the first time or just stare at you. You get to hear them laugh and giggle and watch them explore the area around them. It's certainly beautiful moments, and those moments certainly make it worth having to change 12 diapers in 24 hours. There are days when changing diapers felt like a full-time job. You would sit there and change a wet diaper and get them all clean and prepped and just get all perfect and tight and snug and get them all snuggled together again. Only seconds later, hear that familiar sound of poop coming out and dirtying up the diaper again. I once saw that an average baby uses about 8,000 diapers from birth to potty training. Now, I have 8 kids, so 8,000 per kid, that would be 64,000 diapers that we used over the span of the years. And that doesn't even include pull-ups. At some point, just change diapers was just part of your routine. Night and day, you just know you'd be changing some diapers and you just couldn't avoid it. And we tried so many different things because diapers were expensive. We would buy in bulk. We tried different brands. We tried ones that weren't as expensive, ones that were more expensive to see if they hold more. And we would find the right diaper that worked right for a kid, and then the next kid, they would have different reactions, so we had to try it all over for different diapers. We even tried different diaper studies where we actually got free diapers that we got to use on our kids to try out. So we did our best to keep the cost low. And in our home, we tried to make it as easy as possible and more convenient. We had changing stations throughout the house, one in the family room, one in our bedroom, one in the baby's room, and we always kept a nice stock of diapers and ointments and lotions and wipes available at a moment's notice. That way, when the baby had some kind of blowout or something, we can quickly change it and clean them up to avoid any further mess. It also made it nice to have so many changing areas because we could stay in those rooms that we're in if there are other kids playing, if there's something that we're doing that we need to keep an eye on. It was great to have those conveniences nearby. With our oldest, we were very careful with his diaper. If we detected the slightest trace of pee in there, we'd quickly change him, get him cleaned up, and get him all fresh and ready to go again. But then I noticed that with our youngest kid, by the time we got to him, if he had any trace of pee in there or just the slightest thing, we're like, he can go a little bit longer, and we tend to wait and be a little more relaxed. But we got so good at changing diapers, we could swap that sucker in and out within 10 seconds and have them all ready to go. I guess practice just makes perfect. Luckily, my wife and I, we had each other, and we could tag team it. I remember times coming home from work, and my wife would say hello, and then hand me the baby, and she would say, I've changed 10 diapers today, it's your turn. We loved our kids and we loved each other, and that worked really well for us. We did our best just to help out and do what we can in these situations. And I found myself trying to make changing time a little more fun. You sit there as you change that diaper, singing silly songs, making faces at the baby or making silly noises, trying to keep them happy and trying to make the situation light when you're using a box full of wipes trying to clean them off. And you would use that silly voice, right? And you would say silly things that, if taken out of context, I think they would sound pretty embarrassing. Ooh, did you do a big one? You're so messy. I think we'll have to use a whole box of wipes to clean up your butt. But since you used that baby voice, yeah, it's acceptable. And it was kind of a gamble when you left with the baby. And when you take that gamble, you gotta be prepared. And the way that we prepared is with diaper bags. We had so many different diaper bags. We tried so many types to see which ones worked for us the best. And those diaper bags would not only hold the stuff that you needed for your baby, but also stuff for your other kids too. And they always end up being just a bottomless pit. I remember cleaning out diaper bags and finding half chewed up granola bars and cookie crumbs and lost pacifiers and socks and chapstick and all sorts of things. And it's funny, whenever we'd have something that would go missing, keys or a pacifier or something like that, that's the first place we would look, was the diaper bag. Now that I'm past that phase of changing diapers, as crazy as it sounds, I kind of miss it. because those times when you get to be there with your child as you're serving them and just being silly, you get to connect with them and have that one-on-one time with them. Because as your kids grow older, you find you get less and less chances to be able to do that, to be able to connect and be with them and just be silly. It's a high demand life, and you don't have to be perfect. Just keep showing up.